So, Baruch Hashem, we're back. We took a few days off because I lost my voice, which was a very interesting experience. And my mother reminded me that it happened to me recently, and she wanted to know what's going on, that I'm losing my voice. I said, it happened last year. So I lost my voice twice in 2 years. I don't think that, she said, no, you got to look into it. So, fine. Send me your neutral path, whatever that guy is. All right, here we go. So we are on the third section of Chovos Halevavos. It's called Shar Avodat Hashem. We are in chapter 4. And in chapter 4, there's a very important principle that is very useful to our lives. So he says, everything in our life falls in either three major categories. Either the Torah commands us to do it, or the Torah commands us not to do it, or that it's permitted to do. Okay? Now, the category of what is commanded, we know. We have mitzvot aseh. Those are called prescriptive commandments. Things that God is prescribing for us to do. For example, anybody have ideas? Nobody has ideas. They will actually think I'm sitting here by myself.
Saying Kriyat Shema.
Kriyat Shema, good. Tefillin, good. Tzitzis, excellent. But make brachas, okay, that's the Rabbanon, good. Tefillah, good. Machlokes is between the Rambam and the Ramban. Good, excellent, good. You got prescriptive. We also have a category that's called prohibitive. Things that God prohibits or says don't do, such as adultery. What? Relations with animals. That's, of all the examples, 365 Lota says, Rabbi, animals are not allowed. I'm sorry, that's such an issue for you. Avodah Zarah, murder.
Taking the name in vain.
Taking God's name in vain. What else? A big one. Stealing. What? Eating the flesh of living animals.
Embarrassing someone.
Embarrassing someone. Okay, I think we've got enough. Okay? I think yes. We know there are 365 of them. And how many are there of mitzvahs aseh? Does anybody remember? 613 is not the answer. 248. 248. 248?
Oh, that's out wrong. So
He, ha, who, ha. 248. What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? Oh, because I thought you were trying to harm yourself.
I'm not suicidal.
No, I didn't say that. Chas v'shalom. But now we're going to put you. Who's your roommate? Okay, you're going to have to watch him. Oh, there you are, my friend. We didn't know if I could start, if I would ever end.
The serene timekeeper.
Yes. Good, Baruch Hashem. Baruch haba, Dan. You didn't like the falafel, huh?
yes.
Okay, said it. And Yochai, what are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm doing the translations of the Siddur.
So why don't you pay attention this year?
I'm doing both.
It's distracting me. Sorry. So then we have a whole other category called permitted. Things that the Torah doesn't say we have to do. Torah says we don't have to do. It's just permitted. Gentlemen, shalom aleichem. You know, I'm here Sunday through Thursday every day. You know that? Okay. Remind me your name?
Ethan.
Ethan, can you sit anywhere else but there? Good, perfect. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I can't see you when you're behind where you were sitting. So now I could see you. So, you know, it makes me feel good. You have a good smile, positive attitude. Don't ruin it for him. Yes, all of you. Don't ruin it for him. So then there is a category called permitted. Under the permitted category, we have three further subcategories. One, what is necessary. There are certain things that are necessary that the Torah doesn't command. The Torah doesn't command you to take a nap. The Torah doesn't command you to go to sleep. The Torah does not command you to eat 3 times a day, Noam. Or in some cases, 4 times a day. Yeah. Shabbos, you hold like Rabbi Chitka? Rabbi Chitka? Because we hold 3 meals. That's Milav and Malka. That's how it's post Shabbos. What do you mean? It's making bird sounds. So sleep is one of those things. Things that we cannot live without. Food. Water. Not just for drinking. Human beings need regular showers. We're not going to have that discussion today about the importance of regular showers for yeshiva bochers. I understand it's an issue for some, especially those who are from South Africa who are not used to running water. But in Israel, it's recommended to shower every day. Okay? It's not like in the bush. I didn't want to say Azerbaijan because gets a little sensitive. He's got Chechen friends in Syria. You never know. I'd make a few phone calls, and then that'll be fatwa against me. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I was talking to him, but that's okay. I'm glad you're okay. Don't end up like him, please.
I'm not gonna break my glasses like that.
Good.
It looks ugly.
Good. Well, I don't think he meant it to be this way. It's just so. For those of you who are interested in helping a yeshiva bacher get brand new glasses, please donate to the yeshiva the 1-800 help the glasses fund. We should probably just collect everybody, put in 5 shekels, and then give you some money to go fix your glasses.
Nah, I can accept that.
1-800 orange tape.
So we have one that is absolutely necessary. Speech also is necessary. Sometimes you have to speak, which is not so obvious. It's not so obvious, but sometimes human beings require to speak. That is, we have to communicate. We have to say no. Leave me alone. Respect boundaries. I know all the things that you've been hearing all these times, and you're wondering, why are they saying this to me? Okay. We also, in order to make a living, we need to speak. Some of us use our voice more than others, but it's one of those necessary things, for lack of a better term. So, The second is that there are things that are permitted, but we go beyond what is necessary. For example, Evan, just an example, that sound means that somebody is using the facilities and it's going on to the pipe. So where you're sitting is safe. I'm just saying, but there is a spot that if you sat there, I'd probably ask you to move for your own safety. Because there was a guy who was sitting there and all of a sudden, surprise, surprise, surprise. So what are we talking about in expanding the boundaries? For example, we need to drink water. None of these fancy foo-foo drinks that some of you want to buy. What were you drinking earlier? That foo-foo drink? Well, what are you pointing to him?
Moshe ordered it.
What is it?
Chocolate.
Chocolate, ice cream, coffee, something.
Yeah,
Chocolate, ice cream, coffee,
No,
smoothie.
it's like an iced coffee.
Iced coffee.
With ice. Vanilla? I don't know.
I don't think, I think people get the point. It's a froofy drink that is not absolutely necessary for your existence. You could exist without it. Okay? Same thing with the food that we eat. We are not eating at the level of sustenance. We are eating good. Right? How many plates of the cholent are you having on Shabbos? 1? 2? 3? No wonder you have to go all the way to Haifa. But the point is that we eat much more than what is necessary. Right? The fancy homes that you people live in Chicago with cars. What kind of car do you drive, Evan?
I drive my parents' car.
Okay. The Ferrari or the Maserati?
Tesla.
Tesla! Shh, Tesla. This is, VIP. Does it really drive, or do you just sit in the back and it'll take you wherever you want?
You still have to drive.
So it's not autonomous yet.
Yeah, right.
They have, or is that not yet?
It's in development. Ours drives automatically, I don't know.
That was kind of gross. I didn't need to see that, but since I did, I don't think it's that funny. But explain to me, what do you mean your car drives automatically? You have an autonomous car?
Yeah, well, we have a Tesla, but they came out with an update a few months ago, and it just drives by itself. You can just sit down in the driver's seat, and it'll just drive on its own completely.
Like it can switch lanes and stuff?
Evan is panicking.
Legit, not joking. It's the weirdest thing. I hate it.
That can be very handy. I don't know if you can trust it, that it won't kill you.
Ran over a deer. It's on the news.
The instincts are actually faster than the normal car.
Ran over a deer?
Yeah.
I think a normal car would do that.
Didn't stop.
Would you be liable for murder if your car did that?
For a deer?
So, no,
No, if it's a-
Noam is asking a very important question of what is the halachic status of damages done while sitting in an autonomous car. Because you're just sitting there. You're not doing anything. The only thing you did is you pressed the button or you said, drive to Ohr Somayach. So that's a whole sugya. Maybe one day we'll do a thing about it. Is it?
The amazing is
So you could have been here 20 minutes ago.
You're right. Sorry about that. Just got back to Yeshiva.
From?
Running some errands. Had to pick up some things, sleeping bag.
And those more of those little cars that you're leaving everywhere. Please keep them to yourself.
I got them on me all the time.
Good, keep them to yourself. Thank you. So there's some things that are permitted and that we absolutely is necessary. Some things are permitted that we go to excess. We cross the line of eating and drinking, for example, in the way we dress. Some of you like to wear those designer clothes, right? The Versace jumpsuit. Right? The Corona baseball cap. You know, all these high-end goods, living in big houses, diburim that are useless, speech that we don't really need to say anything. You're raising your hand? Yes, sir.
If this isn't mentioned in the Torah, then how do we decide what's excessive and what's not? Who comes up with the rules?
We'll get into that. Very good question. There's some things that I think are more self-evident than others. There is a general rule that a person needs about 2,000 calories a day.
Sounds very good.
Okay. Most of the people in the world live in certain areas that 2,000 calories a day are plenty. Yet some of us, I don't want to mention any names, consume double than that. Just for breakfast. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
So, Rabbi, I need my protein.
You might need your protein, but need is over here, as opposed to really need. I don't know. Does everybody have to look like they are on steroids? I don't know. I don't know.
What if it's my, what's it called? What if it's like for my
Yeshivat for what?
personal training?
Personal training of what? What are you? You want to train other people to go on steroids?
I have a certification, yeah.
Huh. Okay.
And part of it is, looking a certain way.
Yeah.
Marketing,
Marketing.
in a sense.
Okay. Fine.
If I look like, what's it called? If I'm very unfit, or if my arm looks like Avi's arm, then like, I don't know if, people are going to want me to train them.
I don't know. Usually those who can't do teach. And those who can't teach physical education. That's not my line.
Right on.
That is Woody Allen. Okay? You've heard it here. That's a famous line of Woody Allen. Please don't say anything about this to Rabbi Kaplan, because he was a phys ed major. Don't say anything to him. You told him that line again. I lost the mic. It fell, so I'm picking it up. And can I put it back on? Is it still working? Check. So, but I think I like your question. It's a very good question. Same thing, let's say on a house. What is too much of a house? But at some point we would agree that this house is way too big. Right? If you're two people living in a 9-bedroom apartment with a pool and a jacuzzi and a bowling alley, at some point that's not necessary. Yeah, we need to live to have shelter. We need to have basic. Now, there is also, I think maybe that's where you're going. The standard of living is dependent on what generation you're in. you know, I remember as a very young kid, my great-grandfather lived in a wooden hut, like mamish, wooden hut. There were 3 of them, and it was essentially one big room with a kitchen off the side. And if you wanted to go to the bathroom, you had to go out and walk, and there was a hole in the ground, and that was it. That's how my grandfather lived. That's his, my great-grandfather lived like that until, and this was, I'm talking about in Israel in the 70s. His standard of living, he thought he was fine. He didn't think he had anything missing. But certainly for me, I wouldn't cut it. We got used to indoor plumbing, with heat in the bathroom in the winter. It's it's a whole different ballgame. So I get that we could have a standard of living sort of keeps creeping up, which is what you mentioned. I've heard people talk about South Africa, that although it doesn't look very good for the future of the Jewish people there, to some extent, but the standard of living is so high that people don't want to leave. They like to have the big house with the maid and the pool and nice yard with place to barbecue. I don't think you guys call it a barbecue. Fine. Everything. No, that's Australian. You're ruining it. That's what you have to let them. They get very offended if you compare them to other. No, just. Now he wants to threaten you. You see. So, very good. Very good. Also, one of the things that he talks about of people who get into having permitted relations, which we're talking about husband and wife. Take it easy, Evan. That a person does more than what is normal. And that leads him into more taivas and more problems, not only in his marriage, but that he's into other things. And, for example, a king should not have too many wives, because it takes your strength. Sit over here. Over here. How are you feeling? You look better.
Thanks.
But I wouldn't be walking around with a dolphin shirt.
Yeah, what the heck? Why are you...
Fins up, guys. Come on. The Dolphins are the best team in the entire NFL.
Dude,
They're like literally that we're the best.
All right, okay, that I shouldn't, but I knew that.
Yeah, sorry.
But now he feels a lot better. All you have to do is give him a little bit of, attention, and he's, look how great he feels. Look at that. Look. Now he's happy, he's smiling, he's good. I'm telling you, this is a good thing for you. He should have his own TV show, so that we could switch the channel as soon as he comes on. So this is a category of too much. The Torah permits us these things, but sometimes we go beyond what we really need. And this is probably the most important piece of advice that he's hinting at. We should have a clear understanding of what we actually need and what we actually don't need, but we just simply want. That is going to save you a lot of stress in your life, save you a lot of money in the long run, and will help you live a more meaningful life. If you're chasing the dream of becoming a billionaire, like Shaya does because he wants to have a big house up in Toronto. No, not here in Eretz Yisrael. Oh, you need $2 billion. What?
I said Baruch Hashem, not
Bar-
Toronto, in Israel.
You're not going back?
No chance.
Why?
I already made Aliyah.
Yeah, a lot of people made Aliyah and went back.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Be'ezer Hashem, you will. Your parents still live there?
Yeah.
Should go back.
Like with a two-way ticket.
So I didn't say which ticket.
Yeah. Do you ever go back?
Yeah, I need to renew my passport. It expires. I need to fix that. That little. I love America. I do. I think it's a great country. In terms of the history of the Jewish people, I think it was one of the best places for us. It allowed tremendous opportunities. There are certain dangers, which we saw. There's tremendous assimilation from the beginning of the arrival of Jews to North America, even under the Dutch. I think the first Jews came to America in 1654. Why are you looking at me like I don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm just trying.
The Dutch, you remember the city? There used to be a city called New Amsterdam.
Yeah.
There were Jews living in New Amsterdam. The governor, New Amsterdam. Then the British came and conquered it from the Dutch and became New York. So there were Jews living there. It's a whole crazy story with Stuyvesant. He was the governor. It started out, the settlement of New Amsterdam was a Dutch West Indies trading colony. It was there to make money. And there were Jews who were living in another Dutch colony, which was in Brazil. Okay? The problem was the Portuguese conquered it from the Dutch. So the Jews who lived in Brazil had to get out of there because their Inquisition was going to come after them. So they got onto a few ships. I think there were 3 ships. And one ship was captured by pirates. And since these people were Dutch citizens, they took them to the closest Dutch colony was New Amsterdam. And they wanted them ransomed. But the governor of New Amsterdam said, they're not Dutch, they're Jews. I'm not doing anything with them. Well, since 30% of the stock was owned by Jews of this West Indies Trade Company, they were redeemed. They did Pidyon Shvuim. And they settled, some of them settled in New Amsterdam, which later became New York. And the rest is history. But there was always a high level of assimilation of Jews in America for some reason. It's very sad. But I have nothing negative about the United States.
They also help contribute greatly, though, to their economy.
You're Canadian. What are you talking about? I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Jews who came to America, like you're talking about.
I didn't say no. I didn't say we were good for nothing.
We were very helpful.
I didn't say not. I don't understand how you have to. But don't forget that
Yeah, but Canada sucks.
That might be true.
listen, I don't know enough about Canadian history and certainly not enough about.
We helped in
I don't know if we had a bunch of history and now just like everyone moves
World
there.
War I. America didn't step up till like 1940, till like 5 minutes before the war.
Okay, Dan is going to get upset. And then he's going to start banging on the table. So let's focus. So Yuda, how am I doing on time? Couldn't tell me? Dan, how are we doing?
Good.
How much time do I have?
15 minutes.
15 today? But you were late.
It's okay, yeah.
So you need to sit for another 15 minutes. Okay, say that. So Rabbi Isai, Lamaise, this is a very important Musar point. The things that the Torah permits us falls under 3 categories. One, things that we absolutely they're necessary. But don't make things that are unnecessary move into the category of necessary. Okay, internet.
Unnecessary.
Internet is not necessary. What about for dating purposes? No. Just go speak to Rabbi Salinger. He's got a list on his cards. He'll pull a card, go meet the girl, marry her, v'gamanu.
What about work?
Work. First of all, work is a 4-letter word. I don't know what you're talking about. You mean a career?
Yeah.
Okay, if you need it for work, obviously it's mutter. Obviously, that's obvious. You should, just so that you protect yourself and your family, have filters so that you don't get things that you shouldn't be seeing, or information, stuff that is just... I get, for a lot of the talks and lectures that I give, I have to do lots of different research, and I get all the time material from evangelical Christians and from evangelical, I'm calling them evangelical, but even though it's not the term, of Muslims who are trying to convert other people to their religion. So it's very, very interesting to see how, I don't know why Google thinks that I need to see this stuff, but it gives me a sort of an idea of what's going on. But I'm not sure your kids need to see that, Jesus died for him. So having a good filter is very necessary. Tov. Now, the third is something that if you don't get it, it just means that you have a lack of. So for example, that if you don't have enough food, you don't have enough sleep, you don't have enough these sort of things, then it creates a certain amount of problems for you. And hence you need to have in mind in whatever you're looking at, and ask yourself, what does the Torah say? Is this something that is prescribed? Is it something that is prohibited? Or is it something that the Torah just permits? Just has no... And if it's permitted, is it absolutely necessary for me? Do I need those fufu drinks? I don't know. You might say that once in a while you really need it in order to just get the right mindset, get it tranquilo, feel good about, having good friends. Yes?
I only needed it though today because I wanted to come to Shir and I was very tired. I wasn't going to get a nap in, so I wanted coffee to help me. But
And you couldn't have regular coffee.
Nah, the regular coffee's not. I need iced coffee.
Do they coffee put ice?
Now, he's saying the little fufu drink that he had was...
I didn't need it, but...
No, you're telling me this is, if I didn't have it, bittul Torah the rest of the afternoon. My head is down, I'll be asleep, nothing would go in.
I would have been sluggish.
Sluggish. Okay, say that. There are some things, when we look at the category of what's permitted, there are some things that we need it in order to fulfill our duties to Hashem, and something we just need it for this world. And this is very important. What he says is that in order to get closer to Hashem, we need to reduce in every field where we feel there's access, too much, excess, or even necessity. That is, this is called, some people call this asceticism. become an ascetic, which means that you're eating less, you're sleeping less, you're reducing your need for physicality, and by doing that, you are growing and strengthening your connection to Hashem. Okay? And so, whatever there is in this world, whatever you need from this world, the Ramchal says you should take in order to have two things, Yeshuv Da'at and Nachat Ruach. That you have calm spirit and Yeshuv Da'at, that your mind is settled, that you don't have too much stress, you're not thinking where the next dollar is going to come from. And that, I think, is what he's talking about here. That look at what you need from this world. Do you need to be making $100,000 a month? Probably not. How much do I really need to be making when I'm a yeshiva bacher? Everybody needs money. Everybody needs money. But the question is, how much? Do you must have a shawarma every day? Well, no. You don't need every day. What about a piece of pizza? Does it have to be every day? No, it doesn't have to be every day. So once you become more and more dependent on higher levels of standard of living, it creates a need. And that need creates some level of dependence, feeling that you're not getting what you need. And when a person feels he's not getting what he needs, sometimes he feels, Evan, that he is a victim. That he is not getting the minimum that is required for him to live in this world. You have a jacuzzi back home? No. See? He's good. No. But the animals have their own separate quarters, right? They don't sleep with you. Dan, what about you? You have a jacuzzi where you live? Good. A hot bath.
Hot bath. Like with bubbles.
Hot tub, yeah. Yeah, but it's like outside.
Outside?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be outside.
Okay. I think point is you don't have it, and what's nice, you don't even know what it is. Baruch Hashem, you're in a higher madrega than all of us. So the purpose is, he says, that you have to make sure that you're doing it. If you are going to start reducing your dependence on physicality, you are not doing it for show, Michael. You're not doing to people to praise you. You're really being sincere and doing it. That is the fast that you're taking on. Fasting is not because you want to look good in a suit, but because you're trying to come closer to Hashem. And you understand that the eating became out of control. And you're saying, Hashem, I want to get control of the type of eating, of people who have issues with alcohol. And they say, okay, that's it. But it has to be in the right mindset, he says. That it has to do it l'shem shamayim, to do it for Hashem. And the same thing with speech and sleep. We talk too much. I'm sure you can all remember conversations that you wish you said, I wish I didn't say that. I wish I just kept my mouth shut. Then the guy would not have punched me and broken my glasses. But we talk and talk and talk, right? Ask yourselves, what do you guys do when you're not in class? Oh, we just hang out. And hanging out, what do you guys do? Schmooze. yak and yak and yak, and then you say this and then that and then this and then wait a minute, and then this person says to that person, and it becomes like a whole. Same thing with sleep. Everybody knows how much sleep we need. You need between 6 and 8 hours of sleep. You don't need 12. Certainly don't need 14. Right? Will that be enough for you, Moshe?
14?
No, 8.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like 14. You think you can live with 10? You need more? 5 hours of sleep, that's it?
I could probably live with 5 or 6. Like 8 or 9 is ideal.
Sometimes the body gets into sleep cycle and it just can't get yourself up. Especially when you have those very smooth alarm playing. You know. What?
That alarm.
You want that alarm? You'll never get up.
I know I fall. I don't. I wake up on my own. But if I have an alarm that puts me to bed, that'd be.
It doesn't put me to bed. It does wake me up.
Jeremy, you like to get up in the morning early?
Yeah, he gets up on his every day. Every day.
Good. Because we all.
Obnoxious alarm possible to put on the other side of the room, so I have to get up to turn it off.
And I have the alarm, but I have to turn it off before my roommate wakes up. She doesn't like.
5 a.m.
Yeah, she wants to sleep. She doesn't want to. So I have to. It's not a roommate. It's my wife, but it's a roommate. All right, we'll stop here. We'll continue tomorrow in Mitzvah Hashem.